Hello everyone, and welcome to the July 14th update for Captain Stardust. This week, and a little bit of last week, we had 16 commits from 2 different contributors, which brings our lifetime commits to 337 from 11 lifetime contributors and 2 playtesters, and we just wrapped up week 19 of 21, which means we have 2 weeks left. This week, McFunkyPants came in and created a yummy burger model, along with the texture, and then added it to the world. I went through and added a traffic system, or I guess built onto the traffic system for the cars, so that way they learned how to brake. I also cleaned up the UI for the pause menu and the stamina system, which we'll see in the bottom left-hand corner. Did the first pass of tuning for the HP for different enemies, as well as the damage that the player can do for different attacks, as well as realized that I had only ever hard-coded the amount of damage that the enemies were taken, so I fixed that to be a calculation as compared to being hard-coded. I also fixed a couple of bugs with animations and world events and linear or interpolations for zooming in and zooming out, as well as added a better indicator for food delivery rather than just a nebulous gray box. So let's jump on over to the game here. First, here is McFunkyPants' model. That's a really good-looking burger that doesn't take too much resources or very much power. So I went ahead and stashed that on top of each of the different restaurants that we have here, as well as made them pick up a bowl. So that way the player can move along to it and pick it up off the ground. So we're jumping back into the game. We have Elizabeth's text from last week still at the bottom here. We're going to integrate that through the rest of the game. In the bottom left, we have the stamina and the health system getting reworked a little bit here. So we can see the bars down there, as well as matching the text that Elizabeth had been working on. In our pause menu, we got rid of the map that was right here, since the in-game map is also in the lower left-hand corner down there. And we also have the objective in the top right. And if we come down here and we pick this model up, there we go. Now we're carrying this little burger. A future bug could be to fix the scaling of different items when we pick them up versus when we drop them. Right now, it's always resulting back into like a 1x1x1 type of setup here. And then we also worked on the tuning a little bit. So if we were to pause here and spawn like a sentry and spawn like a mega alien, there we go. I think that should have done it. Yep, we spawned a couple there. So their collisions are all updated, as well as the enemy is shooting much faster. And if we try to do some damage to them there, we'll just do a little bit of damage, since we lowered the amount of damage that the laser can do and increased the amount that the punching can do. So if we show that off a little bit, there we go. And so he's just kind of wreaking havoc in the middle of the street there. As part of the traffic system integration here, if the player steps in front of any of the vehicles, or if a person steps in front of any of the vehicles, or if a vehicle is in front of any of the vehicles, then the bus will just not move. But once all of that is cleared, then the bus will go ahead and continue on its little way. And that's the same with the cars that are right over here. And let's see if we can get out of a little bit of the chaos over here and see if we can find a different type of car. There we go. So there's our little cop car that is just kind of minding its own business while this person decided to stop in front of it. But if we pick the person up, then the cop can continue on its little way. That's the same with this car right here. It's just going to continue on its little route, and if we stop in front of it, then the car will slam on its brakes and stop, but if we get out of the way, then it will continue on its little adventure. But we can still pick them up, and it will stop moving, and then we can still throw it, and just cause all kinds of chaos, and we can still just cause mayhem in the city. So that is kind of our weekly update for Captain Stardust. So jumping ahead to our Vikunja board, we have a couple more bugs to clean up. I think you saw that either on the left-hand side of the console, or once we exited play, there are a couple of bugs there that we can tweak. We also have a little bit more polish to do with the UI side of things, as well as a couple of other bugs for like contingencies, if things like clip through the map or items like that. So if anybody wants to jump in for a little bit more art or a little bit more polish, I'll gladly take it. And then after that, we'll just have the final game and the credits compilation. So thanks everybody, and we'll see you next week.